Hello, good afternoon everybody. Thank you for joining me on this afternoon's video. It was my birthday yesterday, so I had a really nice day yesterday. I had some flowers, I had a little bit of money, lots of cards, so I had a really nice time. So I'm in my middle 50s now, so getting on a little bit. I'm going to share with you an interesting idea I've touched on before. I wanted to show you the full video of what we're going to do today. I ordered some material online in lockdown because I knew I was going to get a sewing machine, and what I ordered was some Cath Kidson material. Now I don't know whether it's the real Cath Kidson material. It did say on the description that it was, but it's themed, so I'm happy with that. It's very pretty. So I had a bit of an idea of what I was going to do with it when I bought it, and I'm going to share that with you today. So Christmas is coming. Well, it will be coming, and I've got lots to do, so I want to try and start to prepare about what the presents I'm going to buy and what I'm going to make. Probably going to make more than anything, because where I am at the moment, it's starting lockdown tonight. So I don't know what that exactly means for everybody, but I think some of the shops might be closed. We'll have to find out as time goes on. So I've got a few things I can do anyway. I've got some material and things like that, so I can carry on doing that. So today, what I've done, I'm creating a present for a friend for a little downstairs bathroom, toilet, a cloakroom, where they have a little sink. And what I thought I'd do is I would change a towel into a Cath Kidson themed towel. So what I did, I cut out and measured what I wanted, the measuring tape, a strip across the main pattern of the material, the rose pattern, and I cut a piece along and I pinned it to just an ordinary white towel. Now I've had this towel for a while. It's just a ordinary Tesco's towel, and it's not as fluffy as it could be. You could get a nice fluffy towel, but this is just to show you what we can do with it. So I pinned the piece of material, folded all the edges so they're nice and neat, and pinned it. So you've got a nice edge. So that's the edge of the towel. And to sew, just do a simple sewing stitch. So I'll just try a little bit for you. So you take the first pin out in the corner, and we're just going to sew a line with my hand crank sewing machine today. So we're going to put the needle in, put the foot down, and start to sew. So the first bit, because it's the corner, will be a bit tough. We take the little pin out, the next pin, and we're sewing in a straight line. Just making sure that the material is resting on the edge of the towel. Nice straight line. I threaded the machine with white cotton, the bobbin and the top, but as you probably know, you can have whatever colour you like. You could have red if you wanted, that might look quite pretty, but I've chosen white today because the majority of the material is white. So we're going as straight as we can along the line. You can see as it's coming along what it's going to look like. And just make sure you adjust it on the edge. It's not completely on the edge, but let me adjust it. There we go. So it's just to show you what's possible. Making sure the edge is right on the edge of the towel. Of course, you know, if you make a mistake, it doesn't matter, because you can unpick it. Have an unpicker to hand, you can unpick it and do it again. it's not a problem. It's very, very easy if you make a mistake. So I've always got there on my funny pad that I made, just waiting just in case I make a mistake. So watch you don't sew over the pins, and keep going down the edge of the towel. I'm not going to do all the whole thing today, just going to show you what it could look like. Lifting up that one, I've done that, that's right. Cutting the cotton, and that's what you have. Have a nice neat edge onto the towel, and that's what it would look like. Fold it, and that's your Cath Kidson themed towel. But what you could also do as well is make a face cloth in the same fashion, so you have something matching. So that could be more for a bath situation, or if you wanted to have a face cloth or a body cloth, and you sew that on the edge of that, so you have a matching towel and a face cloth. And then, if you wanted to make a present, a couple of ideas you could have. I've always got little baskets hanging around. I love to buy them because they're very, very useful. And that's the little basket I use as an example. So you could spray that white. Now, a really good spray paint that I use a lot is a Wilko satin spray paint. You don't necessarily need, on baskets like this, you probably wouldn't necessarily need to use a primer, but you could do if you wanted to. If it's just for a present and you just wanted to spray over, and it's always going to be like an ornamental basket to put things in, you might not necessarily need a primer. But some things I do and some things I don't, but that's fantastic. You take it out in the garden, you find a very small corner in the garden, you lay down some newspaper and you spray that, and then you turn it upside down and spray the other side. And yeah, that would be a nice little basket. So you could start with putting in the towel that you've made. Now, as well, there are other options. I bought some pillowcases from Shaw's for the material to make Coco a coat, my dog. And if the lady or gentleman or whatever present you want to make for has got a bathroom or a powder room with this grey, that would look quite nice on the edge of the towel as well. And anything you like, really. You could do the red and white on the edge of the towel, make it nice and bright and cheerful. Whatever that person has got as a theme in their downstairs toilet or their powder room. So yes, just you could put your towel in, showing the Cath Kidson material. And then, say for example you wanted to buy some hand soap, a little bit of hand soap there. Or you wanted to make it more of a bathroom soap, you could undo the soap here. I've also got some other soap here. I have a couple of different soaps that you could put in a little bag. Soaps in the bag, tied up nicely into a bow, or whatever you wanted. Put that in as well. Or you could put some facial wipes, that would be quite nice in there. Some other kind of cheaper hand soap. Or if you really wanted to go all the way, you could put in something like a Chanel hand soap. This was a present. I've had that for a long time. I've only used it a few times, and it's a beautiful soap. So depending on how much money you wanted to spend, really, on a present, I don't think you need to spend a great deal to make it look pretty. And what you could just do as well is you could put ribbon around the handle to make that look nice. Twist it round to make the handle look pretty. Glue it or tie it in a ribbon. Or as I said, just spray it white. That would look amazing. So that's the idea I've got for you today. And it's just a present for a special friend. And as I said, Christmas is coming and everyone's thinking about what they can do. Yeah, and I'll have lots more ideas later on as well. Something I wanted to touch on today, which, look at this from the basket. As I said, I'm in my 50s now, and I don't know, lots of women don't really talk about what happens to them as they get older, but unfortunately I'm going through the menopause, which means I don't get much sleep. And yeah, it's hard, and you're feeling a little bit weepy, you feel tired, lethargic, you gain weight very easily. So I think lots of people don't realise how difficult it is for ladies as we get older, and it's not really talked about very much. And yeah, maybe I'll touch on it another time, because I'm an older lady, but I still feel 30 inside. I don't feel old at all. And I think there's lots of ladies like that don't feel old, but they're going through the menopause. And it's a really difficult time when you don't sleep and you don't feel yourself. What I would say is tell your partner that you're not quite right, or you don't feel well. Try to explain to them, you know, how you're feeling, because if you don't say anything, they won't know. So yeah, I didn't have a great night's sleep, and I'm feeling tired today, but it's just one of those things, isn't it? And you just have to get through it. And I think a lot of people don't know what to expect, and I think it's different for everybody. And what they say is, if whatever happened to your mother will happen to you. And lots of mothers don't really tell you, do they? They don't tell you in detail about those kind of things. They don't talk to you about personal things. So, you know, any questions that you might want to ask is always a bit, I don't know, taboo almost. You don't think you can talk about it. I don't know whether women talk together. I do talk with my best friend about it, but you know, it's a difficult time when you start to change, and it's hard to adjust to it sometimes. And I'm quite a positive person, so even then you get days when you don't feel well, and you can't explain why you don't feel well. So tell your partner. I think that's the best thing. And try to catch up with sleep another time. You know, if you come home from work and you're a bit tired, have half an hour. Cat naps are great, you know, to catch up with sleep. And look after yourself. Just take care of yourself. Treat yourself, and buy yourself something that fits you. You know, don't try to squeeze into clothes that aren't fitting you very well. I think that's probably something I need to look at as well. I'm starting to do some exercise just to try and keep the weight under control, because it does soar. And I've known ladies that have put on 3 or 4 stone in a menopause. I put on a few pounds over lockdown, so I'm not too worried. As long as I look after myself and look after my body, I'm not too worried at the moment. I'm just looking after myself, making sure I get some sleep, making sure I'm eating okay, and having an understanding partner helps as well. So talk to your friends and talk to your partner about it, because it does help, definitely. I will touch on this another time. You know, if you wanted to ask any questions or anything like that, I'm quite happy to tell you. One thing that happened was really quite bizarre, is I hadn't had a period since before Christmas, and last week, out of the blue, a period, which is quite bizarre really, and I've heard that before, and it takes you by surprise, because you get all the period pains, you get all the cramps, you think, what's going on here? And all of a sudden, out of the blue, you get a period, and that's what happened last week. So those kind of events are a bit disturbing as well for someone that doesn't know what to expect. So that happens. So don't worry about it. It's just one of those things. It happens to a lot of people. So try not to worry about it, and talk to your partner, because they sometimes don't understand why you're grouchy, or you're tired, or you're lethargic, or you're not quite the same. And if they know, then at least, you know, they can give you a bit of space when you're not feeling your best. But anyway, it's nice to talk about something like that. That's sometimes a little bit taboo with people. So I'm quite happy to talk about it. It's just part of life. It's part of a change in your life as you go through your life. And you just embrace it, like birthdays. I love celebrating birthdays, and yesterday was my birthday. I think it's a celebration of life. I always want to celebrate birthdays with people, with my friends and family. I think it's important, because you've had another year of your life, which is, we're blessed to have our own lives. So yeah, so it's just a journey. We go on a journey, and that's the journey I'm on at the moment, which, as I said, if you have any questions, don't worry about asking. I can answer any questions like that. I don't have a problem. So thank you for joining me this afternoon. I hope that would be helpful. It's quite nice to do something for a friend that's totally unique. If you know their bathroom scheme or their little powder room scheme, you know the colours, you can just do it. You can order some material and just, it's such a simple sewing around the towel. It's so simple. And on a white towel as well, it just really shows up beautifully. So that's a really nice idea for a present. So along the way, along the journey, I will come up with lots of ideas for presents for you that perhaps you wouldn't have thought of. So thank you very much for joining me this afternoon, and I shall see you in my next video. My name is Julie. Thank you, bye bye.